Hello, everyone. INKcredible greetings. Hello, everyone. Incredible greetings. It is HS Ink Day. All right, y'all. Let me come over here. I have to change my audience. We got to do that part. Okay. So let's make sure that we are public right now. Yes. Okay. Copy. Ooh, I almost did that wrong. INKcredible. Copy. And then let's go share. Share to my feed. Boom. Share. Share, more options, share to a group. Let's share this out. At everyone, post. Share, more options, share to a group. At everyone, post. One more share. All right, we are all shared out. All shared out. Now let's go over here on the tick of the talk. Let's head on over there and start that live. Because I thought I was actually going to share it from my phone. I decided not to and just do it from the computer. So now I can go live from the phone. All righty. Let's go over here. Uh-oh. All right, let's go. Let's go live. 3-year anniversary. And then where's the celebration stuff? Celebrate. Okay. Boom, there we go. All right. Hello, everyone. Ooh, I have on my shirt. So if you missed us doing the colored shirts on, what day was that? Saturday? I have on my shirt that we did live the other day. So I had to rep, of course, HS Ink. Nothing too special this year. I don't know. It's just, I'm very grateful. I think just a lot of stuff was happening around, this year. So I'm just grateful. So this is just a year of just being grateful that 3 years later, we are still here. Technically started in the midst of the pandemic, but we're still here thanks to you guys. So I thank you guys so very much. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. I am Shakia, the professor. of HS Ink 365. We are the home of the 3-year-old Honestly SpINKing brand. We carry sublimation paper and sublimation ink, as well as pigment ink, over on our website, shop.hsink365.com. And we also are the home of Silaholics Anonymous and our platform, Honestly SpINKing, where we do demos for free. You guys have access to that on our YouTube platforms. If you haven't subscribed to both of those, make sure that you guys go ahead and subscribe. Also, 365 Creative Academy is our online academy, soon to be in person here in South Florida, in Miami Gardens. Can't wait to get all of that going. But it's just been 3 years. So I thank you to each and every person who has continued to support, continue to rep, continue to refer others, watch our content, share our content, like our content, comment. Like, all of these things have come together to make sure that we are, still here, stronger, better than ever. If you guys don't know, with our sublimation paper, you can sublimate as low as 365 degrees, as fast as 30 seconds. So I came into the industry 3 years ago to kind of shake some things up, because the industry standard was 400 degrees, 60 seconds. And I actually had done some tests and realized that you didn't have to go so high. Like, things kind of start out a certain way, but they're, hello, we live in a society where there's always improvements. So 3 years ago, I challenged the status quo and said, hey, how you doing? You can actually get amazing prints. You don't have to use premium matte settings, and you can actually get them with less time and a lower temperature. 365, 30 seconds is what we are branded on. You see it kind of everywhere. All of our prices have 365 either going forwards or backwards, or 30 somewhere. So it's just been an amazing journey. I've learned so much about myself. What I thought I knew about business, oh Lord, in this venture, it's just been crazy. Never thought that I would be in a position to pay. Oh, Professor E, hello, how are you? I am also the professor. I remember the first time, like, to go and spend 14,000 on shipping. Like, it's been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing. It's been inspirational, to say the least. And I hope that I have inspired you guys to reach for your goals, reach for your dreams, as you have seen me grow. And in our transparency of the ups and downs, sharing some of our customer service issues over the years, like whether it's, like a lot of times, like from the customers and not understanding. I mean, we've tried to be very transparent over the past 3 years, in hopes that it would help you guys, because the majority of my audience, it is entrepreneurs, those who are, wanting to get into the business space, whether it is a creative business or not. And just through the past 3 years, it's just been a journey. It's been a ride. It's been an amazing one. It can be a stressful one. I think it probably led a little bit to my heart attack at 42, because it was just new. We started this in the midst of the pandemic, and we were determined to not be one of those businesses that started in the pandemic with all the hype and people just kind of being home, and just making it a sustainable business. And I feel like we've kind of done that, because we're here 3 years later, and we have a million more to go. All right. So I just wanted to come on, just kind of celebrate with you guys. As always, I'm always here to help. So there'll be no different in this live video today. It just so happened to be HS Ink Day. So I'm here to answer any questions that you guys have. If you have any questions for me about this journey, feel free to post your questions, comments, topics, in the comment section. All right. Oh, so you can see it. So it just says HSC vibes only. I've made this, like, this design is probably about 3 years, 2 years old. I think I made this one in year 1, but we did the live video. So if you want to see it all done, we did the live video on Saturday. I believe Friday or Saturday, one of those days, we did the live video where I pressed this same exact design to a bunch of different colored polyester shirts. All right, so let's see. Thank you. Hello. Thank you. Thank you. Incredible greetings. Hello. Hello. Thank you guys for coming on and just celebrating with us today. Hello. 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 Incredible greetings. Incredible greetings. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for watching from coastal Georgia. Hello. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hello. All right. I appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you. We wouldn't be here without you guys. Like, you can't have a business without customers, whether it is first-time customers or returning customers. I take pride in the fact, like, I'm always looking to get new customers, because you have to, that's how you're going to continue to grow. You have to be new people have to be introduced to you. And I'm always grateful for new customers, but I'm even more like ecstatic when those first-time customers become repeat customers and repeat and repeat and repeat. I love looking at our analytics and to see that we have a lot of retention. We have a lot of, returning customers, people who have purchased our products, our classes on more than one occasion. So we take a lot of pride in that. I think that is a testament to our customer service, to us being honest, and providing valuable information and knowledge, and being very, very, very consistent over the past couple of years. I mean, I've been consistent with the information and the content for 9 years, but just in doing the demos, helping people start their sublimation journey, and they kind of hit a road bump in their sublimation journey, being able to help them. We've just been consistent with providing an incredible product, incredible customer service, and knowledge over the past 3 years. So I thank you guys for just being on this journey with us. Hello, Gail. How art thou? We are just celebrating our 3-year anniversary. All right, just making sure I didn't miss anything at the top from when we first started. I have not. Okay. After you answered a few questions a couple of weeks ago, I found a sublimation printer and heat press on Facebook Marketplace. The printer is an Epson SureColor F170. So that is a true Epson sublimation printer that prints 8.5 inches wide by, however long. I will say, I think the one thing with that one is it doesn't have an option to like unmirror it, like if you're doing print and cuts and things like that. So I think that's the only thing you have to kind of be mindful of, but it's a great printer. Just make sure it for us. Hopefully it's working, and you can use our paper with that. Definitely can use Honestly SpINKing paper with it, but Epson does have ink that's made for it, and that will eliminate some of your color issues. So definitely look into purchasing the Epson ink for that. You can go to Johnson's Plastics Plus. They do sell the bottles of ink for the Epson F170 and F570. Yeah, so I don't recommend that you switch to our ink. So I'm always on to that. Yeah, it would be great to go and say, yeah, switch to our ink. But our ink is a third-party ink. It's pretty much made for people to use in printers that are not actual sublimation printers. All Epson printers technically can be converted into a sublimation printer. It will print out that ink. You're able to just add it to the eco tanks and things of that nature. But even with workforce printers that are pigment ink, you're still going to have a slight, it can be a slight color difference. So with that one, because it's made for it, makes no sense to put in an ink that doesn't match, that fully match that color profile in their firmware. So I'm always going to recommend that you actually use the Epson ink. Just go ahead and use Honestly SpINKing paper, because Epson's paper doesn't hold a torch. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, before I forget, while you guys are on, and I forgot to put the banner, all of our paper, all of our HS ink products. So our paper, our ink, whether it's the 6-color or the 4-color, and the pigment ink. So the paper, the ink, the paper and ink only, they are on sale. It's automatic. That's normally it's like 8.5 by 14, 11 by 17, but for our anniversary, everything paper-wise and ink-wise. So not cartridges, because those are not like our signature, like our branded products. So the paper and the ink, anything that's actually branded, Honestly SpINKing paper, products, It's on sale 20%. So it's not just 8.5 by 14 or 8 or 11 by 17. So you can get your 8.5 by 11, your 13 by 19. You can get you some ink, whether it's Formula B or the signature, as well as the pigment ink, 20% off. Okay. So I wanted to kind of put that out there now while I'm going through answering questions. That way you guys know, just in case anyone kind of falls off before we get to the end. Or I didn't want to say at the end. All right, so I have Silhouette Business Edition, and I would and of course, all classes are still buy one get one 50% off. Hello, Professor. I have Silhouette Business Edition. I would like to know how to place a color background. When I try placing a background, it doesn't take. So what do you mean by, because you're saying a colored background, and then what are we referring to? So I need a little bit more context. I'm not sure. Are you trying to put it inside of a shape, inside of a text? Is it a solid picture you're trying to crop to it? So not quite sure what you mean by color background. Your paper is the best. Thank you so much, Bernadette, for that. Let's see. Happy Inkversary. May you have an incredible year. So it's in a picture. So you can't just add a background to like it's already a picture. You just want to change like the background behind. Like, so if you were to take a screenshot or a snapshot of this and to just change the background of it, you can't do that just with a click of a button. Hello over on TikTok. Make sure you guys go ahead and double tap that screen. We are just celebrating our Inkversary. We have been selling our products for 3 years now. And so we're just celebrating. And I'm celebrating with answering your questions. And there is a discount on the site. Come on, guys. So y'all have no questions about business. Like I said, it can just pick my brain. You don't have to have a specific question. If you want to know anything about the journey, I guess the question would be, how many people here are new, right? Who's new here? I kind of got out of that because I always kind of see the same names in the comment section. But I think those who are new to me, even if you're in my group, I think, you know, some of you guys have not been on my live videos. So who is new here? Let me know if you are new to our platform. Would love to welcome you to the HS Ink or HS Ink family, Team 365. Because you may not know our story. So if you're here, you don't know our brand story, let me know in the comments if you actually want to hear that, how we got started. The biggest lesson I've learned, I guess, I mean, to be honest, like just being 1000% honest, is being consistent and staying true to our brand. There were times where, you know, it got kind of, I'm not saying rough, but when you come into this and you spent so much time helping other people's businesses and promoting them and seeing that growth because of you directly, like knowing that I impacted a lot of businesses directly. And then for me to kind of go and do my own thing, I, you know, end up trying like some things like, you know, I guess you would say, like, not say trying to compete, but there were some moments where I felt like I didn't stay true to me and it just ate me alive. So it's just being consistent, staying true to the brand. It is important to understand your brand. What is your brand message? Have that clearly defined, and you can't go wrong with it. You may have to pivot or make certain changes to adjust with, you know, your audience and things like that, but you don't have to compromise who you are. So I would say one of the biggest lessons is just staying consistent and staying true to the brand. And then this is something that I am learning. I actually wish I wasn't the face. In hindsight, as much as I love doing this part, when we first started, I should have stuck to that. I was almost going to kind of present it as being more of like an affiliate or just, this is a brand that I recommend, because I am the face. And no matter how much information I give, I show up and I'm trying to be consistent, showing that I actually know this information. It's just something about, because it's my brand. Like, I feel like people feel like, oh, well, you're the owner of it, you're going to be biased to it. Of course you're going to say yours is the best. But when I was promoting other people's stuff, people took my word for it. Like, every time, like, they were buying. Now that it's my own, it's almost like, oh, well, you have to say that. So if I would take anything from this, I really wish I would not have been the face of the company. I really do wish that. Like, someone made a comment, but it was filtered out, so I'm not sure who just made a comment. But it says it was filtered, so you may have to reword that. No, so the paper does not work without sublimation ink. So it's not the paper. I mean, paper is a miracle worker. I mean, it's game changing, but you still need sublimation ink. Thank you so much for that question. Congratulations on your well-deserved, well-earned success. You are an inspiration to so many, and we appreciate you for all that you do. You are very welcome. I thank you as well. Thank you. Oh, the only thing that doesn't have that extra 20% is the pre-sale for the rolls. That is still wherever it is. It won't apply to that. So don't think you're going to go and get an extra 20% off of that. There we go. Welcome in. Yes, welcome in, everyone. All right, let's see. Hello from North Carolina. Happy ink anniversary. I thank you, Penny. Hello, Miss Dawn. Thank you. Thank you. I am new here. I have watched your videos and you are very, very clear when explaining things. Thank you. Happy anniversary. Thank you, Latanya, as well for watching. Sorry, I had a phone call. I am back. Did you have a question that you may have missed the answer to? Hello from Harlem. How art thou? Greetings from Miami Gardens, Florida. We are celebrating my Inkiversary, well, our company's Inkiversary. So 3 years ago, Honestly SpINKing was created and finalized. So I'll give you guys a little testimony, and just it might be a little bit of inspiration and motivation for you. So we celebrate on the 28th of August because that was the day that, I mean, we finalized everything. And I actually had planned to go live and to do the launch and announce it on that day. I got cold feet. I seriously got cold feet. It was not necessarily imposter syndrome, but I spent so many years and so many people knew me from other people's platforms. And there was this whole thing within this community, and not to bring up like a race thing, but it really was a cultural thing. And it's like supporting someone who was of the same culture. And it was this thing of, if you did, because someone to them was considered the first, if you were to do something, it's like, oh, you're backstabbing, you're doing this, how dare you do X, Y, and Z. And that was a big thing with some other people during that time. So I was a little skeptical, like it kind of freaked me out because I knew what the optics would look like. Although we were really like my husband and I, we got together and my mom, and we just kind of just looked at everything. I had spent 2 years helping and building a name for myself within the sublimation community. I was already had a name for myself as far as just providing help. I was already talking about, I would teach people about Epson printers. It wasn't new to me, like over that time frame, to teach about Epson printers. I, was educating more so like on the pigment ink side. I knew of sublimation. I'd used sublimation before. I was a cheer coach. Our uniforms were made with sublimation. I understood cut and sew and things like that. But I never did sublimation in-house as far as printing out in-house. And during that time frame, I converted my printers and stuff like that. And so I started to teach people kind of like in-house, combined with my silhouette teachings. And I did that for 2 years, and things just happened, and we had to make moves for our family, especially once the pandemic happened, and just feeling appreciated. I felt undervalued. Like, I'm just being honest. What I brought to the table was not appreciated. And I couldn't allow myself to be used anymore. So some things happened. Went out there, and my husband was like, it's time to pull the trigger. So we did that, and here we are 3 years later. People threatening our success and what they would do to us, and praying for our downfall. But through it all, like, we are still here. We're still thriving. We are still incredible, still being inspirational. So I just did not want, like, I was petrified. Even when I did the video to launch, if you ever go back and watch that video, my hands were shaking. It was ghetto back then. Like, my camera setup wasn't, like, I was trying to hide stuff in my, like, it was, I don't understand that. Y'all must really love your girl, because that video was ghetto. It was given very much ghetto. But I just kind of came on there. I showed the product, and literally sight unseen. It was, the sample packs that we had, I was just showing the demonstration. And like, when I finally went live, like, that was a weight lifted off my shoulder, because we had a pre-sale and said, look, you guys have known me for 2 years. I've never steered you wrong. Trust me in this journey. Trust me in this product. And we have a product that it will change the game of sublimation. Y'all know I do my research. Here is an example of what it will do. And we would like for you to support us in this and purchase, but you got to wait 6 to 8 weeks. The Shopify, like the little ding from Shopify, was just going off. And it took everything in me not to cry, because I could hear it in the other room, because Even was watching the computer, and I can literally hear it in the other room, like just going off. And it took everything in me for tears not to fall. But just know that when I got off that live, I cried like a baby. Okay. I cried like a frigid baby, because who can launch a sight unseen? Like, it to me was just a testament that I showed up. I was consistent. So it was like the lesson that you learn is your consistency will pay off. It will pay off to have that many people day one. And then within the, like, even that pre-order period, and even after the pre-order period, like, well, during that first 2 weeks where it was discounted, the last 4 weeks before we got the products, it was sold at like the regular price, like regular friggin' price. And people were still buying it, knowing that they had to wait 4 weeks. That was absolutely freaking amazing. So yeah, here we are 3 years later. Your wealth of knowledge is immeasurable. Thank you. Hello from Trinidad and Tobago. Happy anniversary. Thank you. Hey, Miss Sonia. Yes, you were the MVP in those groups for helping others. I can totally understand, but you got to eat too. God didn't create nothing for one person. Exactly. He didn't create anything where it's just for one person. Exactly. Oh, but baby, they ripped me a new one. Oh my gosh. Luckily, God built me to be a very strong person. And I had tough skin because the amount of like hate mail inboxes and people just like having their little stuff and just talking about us in this journey. Like when we first started, it was crazy. It would have broke uh like the average person who just did not have, like, who hasn't built up this kind of tough exterior and they can handle it. If it was someone who was doing this just to do it and it was not purpose driven, it wasn't divine by God, they probably would have broke from the amount of not so favorable, I mean, written out ones. People would send voice memos. Like it was like that first like 3 weeks was crazy to go in and see. I even had a whole breakdown. I had a whole breakdown. I think it was after we actually dropped and it was going out to people. There was a situation that happened, and I literally had a whole breakdown on live. My team was mad at me. It's like, don't you ever do that again. Okay, you got it out your system. Don't ever let that happen because they think they got the best of you. But hey, 3 years later, we're still here, and they definitely did not get the best of me. Let's see. I remember one day you came on and broke loose. Yeah. You cried about someone, what someone was doing to me. Yep. That was really my breakthrough moment. Like I got it out and I've just been stronger ever since. I found you and have not looked back. Ink, paper, classes, inspiration, the whole package. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Dawn. I know who you're talking about and look at them now. Okay. They doing it too. I mean, yeah. Let's see. I want to sell my crochet on a bigger scale, but I don't know what license I need to start. It's not, so when you talk about like business license and things like that, especially if you're going to open up a location like a commercial space in your area, then they may require a certain just operator's license because it's not something that's going to require like a certification or a license like that. A lot of people will say to legalize your business, you have to have an LLC. You can definitely work as far as like, just sole proprietor, but there are benefits to doing like to structuring your business because you're doing crochet. I'm pretty sure there are wholesale places available. So where if you're just buying your yarn and you're buying it retail, it's going to be really hard to make a profit and to turn a profit. So you want to be able to order from places where you can buy in bulk, buy wholesale. And for them, they will need to see your resale certificate. And then it gives you the opportunity to buy it without paying taxes up front. So you can spend more of your money because when you buy up front, you haven't made any sales, right? So unless you're like buying because you're buying supplies based off of an order, you haven't made any money. So when you want to really, really save on things, you are buying up front and they're going to allow you to not pay taxes on it. And when you do that, though, you're going to still have to pay the taxes on it. It's just that Uncle Sam, like your state will basically say, okay, well, when you file your quarterly sales tax, what did you get that you did not pay taxes for? Because now you've made sales. So you should be able to basically pay that back. So you'll have to do that and get your resale certificate. That's pretty much through your state. That's on the state level. So you can get your LLC. There's so many businesses that will start off as an LLC, and you can do that. You have to do your articles, basically outlining how you plan to run business. So you can choose to do an LLC, which it's still kind of connected to you. You'll do your taxes through your own personal taxes. So like you're basically a pass through. There's also a way to kind of set up an S corp but that's like two different kind of setups. If you do an LLC in your state, but then be taxed as an S corp, it's a little bit, depending on your state. Like me in Florida, doesn't really matter because we don't have state taxes. But if you were like somewhere like Georgia, having an LLC set up in Georgia, but then you have an S corp with the government, with the IRS, it's a little bit, a little bit tricky when it comes to that. Or you can choose to do a corporation. Many people think that you have to be at a certain level and you have to reach a certain dollar amount to set up as a corporation, and you don't. There's no dollar amount involved. It does involve doing like being a little bit more detailed. You have to have bylaws. There are things that you have to do when you set up as a corporation, but it also makes it to where it is a completely separate entity, separate from you. Like it is considered to be its own, basically, like person. So there, you can do one of those. A lot of people kind of just start off as an LLC. You can always end up, for certain states, have that classification changed, or you can end up doing, a corporation kind of having that LLC file. It's like a lot of different things that you can do with that. But first off is, just deciding how you want to, do business, what tax breaks you want, how much planning you want to be able to do. So it's just about planning. That's one of the biggest things, is just planning. You had no idea all of that went on. You always put your best foot forward, and you've known me for years. Oh yeah, it got bad. It got really, really bad. Okay, let's see. Shocking the level of disrespect for fellow entrepreneurs when they proclaim to care for prosperity of their followers. We know who to follow. So, yeah, it's okay. Thank you. Sometimes he has to take us through the process so we can receive the promise. But baby, that process gets rough and sometimes hurt, like all get out. It definitely does. It can definitely sting a little bit. Definitely can sting a little bit. No, the silhouette is definitely, it's not one-on-one. The only way that you will be able to get a one-on-one for that, you're setting up sessions. The 30-day training was taught over 30 days. And some of those sessions were 3 hours long. Some were an hour, some were 3 hours. There were some where, like on weekends, like for tracing, we were there for hours. A lot of it was because of like questions of others and just being very, very detailed. So you get access to all of the playbacks in real time. Like, they're not edited down. Please make sure that you guys, when you purchase that, when you are starting at the very top one, because it tells you how to get access to the playbacks. I just found that more people liked the live stream playback versus the broken down one, because they can watch it on a television. If I was to put all of those inside the course, you couldn't watch it like on your television if you didn't have two screens. So please make sure you go through all of that if you purchase the 30-day training during this time. But it's not one-on-one. For me to go through 30 days and well over 42 hours, my hourly rate is now what I think $75. So that would add up to be quite a bit if you had to pay $75 an hour for 40 some odd hours. So it's not one-on-one. You are very welcome. Do you have any of those set up? Like, are you buying your yarn retail or are you buying it wholesale? Oh, I just realized I never put at the end of this. Haha. Let's go hide, and then this is an open Q&A, guys. So whatever questions you have for me about the business, about the journey, about our products, feel free to go ahead and post those questions, okay? Oh, come on. Oh, it still leaves it close together. It has already happened, love. It's there. As soon as you purchase it, you have access to all 30 days immediately. That has already happened. Now we do have you still have to purchase the 30-day training. Like that is the foundation. That is our flagship training. I will never, ever, 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 ever do the 30-day training again. That was the most training 30 days to be online, like every single day. And then towards the end, it was twice a day. So that will never happen again. However, we have something available in the fall that's going to allow for live sessions to basically go over, almost like kind of like study hall type sessions, to go over the content from that, but you still have to have the 30-day. So you cannot just, you can't just purchase access to the live trainings that's coming up, where we're going to review those, but I won't be doing them like where it's like one thing at a time for 30 days. And then we have the bachelor's program. So we have a lot of live classes that are coming up, live sessions. I love my Zoom sessions, but that particular one will never be done live again. There will be no, when is the next one of this? That is it. And you get access to our exclusive group. So you're never left to your own devices. You have help. All you have to do is just post a comment or make a post in the group, be as detailed as possible, or you can put your question on the playback of the videos. If you put the timestamp in it, it'll let me know exactly where you're having an issue at, and I'll go in, I'll answer it. So you have support, but it's no longer live. Yes. Never, ever, 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 ever. Y'all don't understand. That was a hard 30 days. That was that was a hard 30 days. I mean, I can literally go live for 30 days straight, but it's like when I'm doing the lives like that, it's like, okay, well, I kind of come on when I want. Doing that where it was like 11 o'clock a.m. every single day, 1 p.m. on the weekends, having literally no days off, even though it was just an hour throughout the week. And I still had other like business stuff to do. That hour feels like a full day sometimes, because I had to think about like how I'm presenting it, making sure that, those who were there, they understood everything. So even in an hour and a half, it was a lot. And then those days, like on those weekend days where it was like 4 or 5 hours each day, it was just a lot. It was a lot. Why not pre-record? Because when you pre-record, people tend to edit when they pre-record, and they give you the perfect scenario. So the one thing that my students love is they get to see the real. I'm someone that's been doing this for a long time, so I could go in there and make it look all like perfect, right? For this, with teaching a program and teaching the tools, it was important. A lot of people learned from the mistakes. Even if I clicked on something wrong, it allowed me to show how to basically troubleshoot yourself, or how you would fix this without having to start all the way back from the beginning. Because it was a live session, they were able to ask questions. A lot of times, if I just pre-record it, it's kind of sort of no different than watching just a regular YouTube video. So even though those, now they're getting the recordings of it, they learn, and some people tell me they learn from the questions and just the information there, when I didn't try and make it perfect, even in my mistakes. So now they feel comfortable when they make mistakes. Like, it's like, hello, if the professor can make a mistake and she's been doing this for forever and a day, it's not the end of the world if I make a mistake. So that's why I don't really do anything pre-recorded. Even now on my like my free platforms, like my YouTube channels, I prefer not to do pre-recorded. To me, pre-recorded are tutorials. I teach, I train. And when you're doing trainings, it is live, and it gives people an opportunity to ask questions. If you have to go back, they can, because when you're watching videos, sometimes you may have a question, and some people don't go back and answer any of their YouTube videos. So my first run of every single class is always live. And then you just get lifetime access to the playbacks. I want to sign up for the pricing for profit class. Does that include information on inventory taxes? No. So it's what you're asking for is more of our creative business program. And we had the pilot one and we went through some things and we kind of talked about tax and all that. So that's more of the creative business program. When it comes to pricing for profit, we can't go all that. Like there's a lot just to the pricing part. So we do a couple different scenarios and break it down. We had some people that volunteer like their setup, and then I help them understand those numbers. I help you understand what you need to what you should be calculating that accounts for your overhead so that you can price properly. We go over the different, like my personal strategy for how to price. Some people say do the 3x3 method. I break down why that does not work for everyone when you have like overhead. You have to think about your growth. So that is just understanding principles and concepts to understand pricing. For all the other stuff, as far as like inventory taxes, that will never be covered in just like a one-day pricing for profit. But our creative business program is where you will get those trainings and those lessons. They're good. Love your dedication. Thank you. They're actually pretty good. My mom was actually upset because they pooped on her car, but they don't just kind of, it's not, I think they're kind of comfortable with their area now because it's been probably been like almost like a year, 2 years now. So they're a lot more comfortable. So they're not like just kind of like all over the place and just end up in our yard. Like they know where their home is. So it's a lot better now. Thank you, Miss Cheryl. Do you still sell the pre-filled pigment ink cartridges? Because I think I mix my ink. I'm not sure, but it really does not look good when I print out. So I just need to get new cartridges. We do sell the pre-filled ones still, but I mean, before you go and do that, I would, just try and figure out like your ink, and how you can figure out like if your inks got mixed up is to print it out and then press it to some polyester fabric. If it turns yellow, that's pigment ink. If it actually, you see the true colors, then that's sublimation ink. And also the cartridges aren't going to go bad. So even if you think that you messed it up, you can always simply drain the cartridges, put some water and alcohol in it, drain it again, refill it, and then you know that you're starting with the inks, and it should have the label on it. If you don't have a label on yours, we had it to where you could, I think before it was to where you could download it so that you can have it, because when we send it out, it has the label on it. If yours does not have the label, I mean, we can always get that file for you so that you don't mix it up, or you can write P or sub on it. But I wouldn't recommend just getting a new set of cartridges for that. You can definitely drain. That's the joy of cartridge-based printers, being able to drain it, clear it out. I've mixed up ink before. Like I made a mistake and put cyan in my magenta to where the ink was purple, and I had to just drain it all out. So it's not the end of the world. Save yourself some coins if you want, because those cartridges are still good, and just drain it, put fluid in it, drain that fluid, and then I actually just did that last week with a set of cartridges because I wasn't quite sure what ink was in there, and I just did that. Well, actually, no, it's not even that. It looked crazy. It looked brown. Like the yellow had like a weird color to it. So I just drained it all out and just put new ink in it. Thank you for all that you do. I'm using PicScan, trying to find the correct measurements for my sublimation blank earrings. When I do the trace and detach, it traces the blank as a double. I don't recommend using PicScan. What I recommend that you do is simply do a trace. Just do a scan of the earrings. So because they are white, you can either leave your scan bed open, or, which the way I prefer, take a piece of colored cardstock, put it on top, close your scan top, scan that, and then when you open it up in Silhouette Studio, you're just going to do a regular trace, not a trace and detach, a regular trace so that you can have the shapes. But we teach how to do that in the 30-day training on the template day. So you can, if you need a visual example of that, it is in the 30-day training on the template day on how to do that. But yeah, don't PicScan. I know Silhouette, and it's still, PicScan is hit or miss, and it's only made, like, it's really made for you to scan it and you're going to cut what's there because you're trying to create a template. That way you can put your design in it. PicScan is not what you want to use. That's a good question. Thank you for that. I don't think anyone's ever like really asked about like the whole PicScan thing. Any particular order you should take them in. I just did a video yesterday about was it yesterday? Saturday. So I just did one. It ended up being a really long video, but I just did that video about the order. I would just say everyone needs to start with 30 days, and then you kind of go off of your budget and then what you want to learn. Some things are more like design related. I don't know what your creative journey is. If you want to know how to create your own SVGs, if you're looking to do party favors, if you just kind of want to understand design concepts, that part is totally up to you. But I just did that video on Friday or Saturday about the orders to take the classes in. Are you on the Academy site or are you on the shop site? If you're on the shop site, it should allow you to do that immediately. Like, you should get an email immediately to change your password if you're on the shop site. Now, if you're on the Academy site, if you've purchased a class, which like you didn't go in there, the password change will never work. You have to go through that. So you would have to email us, because I would have to send you your express sign-in link if you've never actually logged into that, like the Academy site. So you have to let me know which site you're referring to, because we have two different sites. They're not connected at all. Hello, 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 hello. You are very welcome. You're welcome. Okay, thank you. Oh, no. I don't mind. There's no such thing as talking too much on here, because most time I am like begging you guys for questions. So if the rest of them, all the other, between all the different platforms, if all 54 of these people decided they didn't want to say a word and you wanted to ask all the questions, hey, they would just learn from you and I's conversation. I am open to questions. There's no such thing as too many questions or talk a lot, because that's what I'm here for. But most people, I don't know what it is. They're scared. They don't take advantage when I'm saying I have 20 years of experience in this. Why would you not want to get some type of advice or guidance from someone who's been doing this 20 some odd years? So actually longer than that. I keep saying 20, but it's been longer than that because I'm 42. Well, I guess no, it would be 20 something, because I'm not quite. When I get to 46, then we'll be at 30 years. Because I was like 16, 17. So when I get to 46, 47, then it'll be 30 years. So yeah, 20 some odd years that over 25 years that I've been doing this. So our 30-day training is regularly $103.65 is how much it is. So you go to that same one, shop.hsink365.com. All classes right now are buy one, get one 50% off. If you only want to get the 30-day training, it is also 20% off if you just kind of purchase that, but you'll get buy one, get one 50% off if you buy two classes. Do I sell on TikTok Shop? No, not yet. I know that, to me, TikTok Shop is not really to me, it's for the average consumer. Like, the stuff that they may need for their house and stuff like that. I know that there are a lot of creators that live on TikTok Shop that may want to purchase sublimation paper and ink. But I'm still kind of like on the fence about that. Like, my core thing is for a specific person, like who wants to get into sublimation and they need sublimation paper and ink, or they need classes. You can't sell digital products technically, but you're already got something cooked up, but you technically can't sell digital products. Like, it has to be something where you're going to ship out like a physical product, and you have to ship it out in 3 days. And I'm still just kind of on the fence, because I like being able to have customer relations with my customers. And when you're going through TikTok Shop, it's like filtered through theirs. So if my customers have a question about something, because our paper is different than anybody else's, like you're using plain paper setting, it's different temps and time. So I don't want it to be to where they're trying to contact us through there versus contacting us through our website. And it's just a lot of like restrictions and stuff that they have, and people trying to take advantage and just wanting refunds and so I'm on the fence. Like I've been approved. I'm just on the fence because I don't necessarily sell a physical product like that. That's kind of like for the masses. It's very, very niche in those who need sublimation paper and ink. Hello, Professor and guests. I brought the foam board class, I thought, but I got, all I got were the templates. Do I need to buy something else? So when you purchase it, you're going to get the templates, but you have to go. It is hosted through our Academy site. So you should have gotten an email that, if it was your first time ordering a class, you should have gotten an email that says your classes will be here. And you have to sign in through the Academy site, and all of the playbacks and things are there. This question is pertinent because it's a part of your business and brand journey. But wait, what? Who's in their 40s? I am. I just turned 42, May 30th. I am 42. I am 42. Hello. Craftastic Tips with Shawnee D. Thank you for that. You made me blush. I have been told that on multiple occasions that I still have a baby face. As one of the youth leaders for my church, it was always like there was this one lady, the kids were acting up, and she's like, where y'all youth leader at? And I'm like, right here. You look like one of them babies. So yes, I've gotten that quite a bit. So thank you. Probably why people still say, they say I really look like my kids because I look like my kids. Any other questions? This is probably like we're dwindling down from the Q&A sessions like this, as far as like them being so frequent. I will say that in September, I got what's that thing called? The Caesar Romeo. One, just that thing is huge. So trying to find a place for it and being able to record, because I do everything from, like when I'm doing classes and videos, I do everything from this computer. And my cameras originally wouldn't connect with the laptop that was in there. It was this whole big thing. So I'm trying to rearrange some things in here so that I can. But I will say that in September, you guys will be on the journey with me, and you're going to see how I get familiar with this. Although I know all of these other cutting machines and stuff like that, like I have 6 Cameos. I have a Roland BN20. I have a large format cutter. I have all of these different printers. I work in Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, Corel Draw, Silhouette Studio, even Canva. Even though I know all of these, it is very different. That's still a different software. Like I have to get familiar with it. So you're going to see like my journey. Whenever I have something that is new, I don't jump right into like doing like the most complicated thing. There are certain steps that I take no matter what piece of equipment it is, like what printer it is. I do certain steps. Like I start from the beginning as if I knew absolutely nothing. So the month of September, you guys are going to go on the journey with me to as I navigate to learn the Caesar Romeo cutting machine. I've had that thing since April and now it's time. So it worked out great because it's going to be Caesar September. So come September, you're going to see, and I'm actually going to do something for the first time ever. If you have been following me, you know that I don't do well with pre scheduling live videos and like having like a set time. However, for this, because I really want you guys to be a part of the journey, there will be set times for those trainings. Just I'm learning. So it's like coming in, no expectations of me knowing this like the back of my hand because this is new software. So I have to get comfortable and get familiar with their blade, how to adjust it, how it cuts. So you're going to see it from the beginning, and it's going to teach you whenever you have any type of equipment that you want to start from the basics. You want to go and build yourself up to get used to it, get comfortable with the machinery before you put it into production to produce money for you. Do you have a template for cups with the handles? So you mean like the Stanley type cups? No, I don't, because I've never done one. I think those cups are humongous. I'm personally not a fan of them. I did get one, like the generic one from, who do people call? Five and Below. I got a generic one from there, but it's for a different purpose. But I've never had any of the sublimation ones or even the ones to do like whether it's UV wraps or eco solvent wraps on. I just think that cup is entirely too big. So I don't have a template for that one. But I can teach you how to make one, to create your own, but I don't have a template for it at this moment. I don't have one. Now, if you have one and you would like to send us one, because they sent me one and I took that one that they sent me and I did all the measurements and stuff. I went and made sure that it worked, and then I was able to basically send them back or provide that tumbler. I did the same thing for the 30-ounce tumbler as well because it has like a little taper to it. So if you would like to, you have some extras on hand and you would like to send one to us, our mailing address is on our website, and you can send that, and I can go through the process and create a template for it to make it available to the masses. Thank you. I found a very clean Workforce 7210 on Marketplace. I'm looking to use it to make transfers. What type of transfers are you referring to? Would you suggest pigment or eco solvent ink? Well, I personally never recommend eco solvent in any Workforce printers because of the type of ink. I did a video on that showing the different inks and just kind of how they work. Your colors will end up being washed out. Some people, they live by it, but they also have no stand. Like, to me, I feel like they have no standards when it comes to colors. It will wash it out. Even the guy that shows his on YouTube, I'm like, y'all can't see that those colors are not right. So I don't ever recommend putting eco solvent in the Workforce printers at all. It works better with dye-based printers. As far as pigment ink, I don't know what type of transfers you're trying to make. So if you are wanting like ones like for shirts, are you trying to make them to sell or just make transfers for yourself? Oh, I don't know. I mean, it'll go out into the mail at some point. So I don't know. You ordered 2 wraps, but you want the bundle. Yeah, that bundle is pretty nice. So I would not recommend, if you do regular ink, then like pigment ink, then the only thing that you're really printing out for would be Jet Pro 3G opaque transfers or like DTV, things like that. And that's not something that I would recommend selling transfers for, especially since when it comes to Jet Pro 3G, there's no actual like transfer for it, like transfer masking. And if not done correctly, the ink can come off. As far as the eco solvent prints, I would recommend getting a, it's kind of crazy because I don't recommend eco tanks. Like I despise eco tanks with everything that is in me. I despise eco tanks. But that's going to be the better one for it, for you to like utilize that if you want to, you know, do transfers and cut them on your silhouette. Hopefully you're using silhouette and not a Cricut for those. So you can kind of go and set it up that way. Or, you know, get a Roland BN20. The 20A is a little less expensive than the regular Roland BN20, but that would be my recommendation, especially if you want to sell. You want to sell a product that is a quality product. And pigment ink transfers, it's just, to me, just not quality to just sell the transfers. I have made plenty of shirts with those transfers, but I also know how to kind of do them. I wouldn't sell the transfers, like the ready to press transfers to customers. What is the purpose of pigment ink? Pigment ink is just a regular ink. Like you have for printers, for regular ink, they have like dye ink or pigment ink. Technically, eco solvent ink is like a regular ink as well. It's kind of like the what you see is what you get. So when you print something out, the differences between like the two common inks, like in just regular printers, is that pigment ink is water resistant. If it gets wet, it does not run. When you have a dye-based printer, if it gets wet, it's going to run. Dye-based ink, though, has a wider color gamut than pigment ink. But for me, because I was doing like a lot of event stuff, I live in Miami, things get wet. So if it ever got wet, like if it rained, you got caught outside or something, or like when they want to put, with my prints with pigment ink, they can actually put them like in water. When I was making like posters or banners, because your Epson printer can print up to 47 inches. If it got wet, it just doesn't run. But it's just your regular. Oh, Zani Mani, I think, took most of the stickers that I had. But like invitations, labels, like technically this is something, this was printed with a laser printer. I'm guessing they printed with a laser. Yeah, well, you can tell from they printed the laser printer. But like it's just regular ink. It just happens to be water resistant. So that's why a lot of people like to use them for like Jet Pro 3G, because when you wash it, the ink is not going to run out. So it's going to look as good as it did day one. But it's just, see, stickers. These are made with pigment ink. It's not something that's better or like, oh, it's a better ink than X, Y, and Z as far as like color, because dye-based ink really does give you better colors. But this is what I use because I needed that property of it being water resistant. Is there a problem if you let the ET 15,000 or any printer with sub ink with the sub ink sit unused? I mean, it doesn't matter if it's sub ink. You can have it and it can have the actual Epson ink in it if you let it sit for too long. And then for some of them, if you use them excessively, they can't handle like too much use. It can cause an issue. And if you don't use it, it will cause the ink to not sometimes just backflow. And if it's a prolonged period of time, the ink will dry in the print head. So that's with any ink, whether you have sub ink in there, the dye ink, the pigment ink, the eco solvent ink, doesn't matter what it is. You want to use it over time. Like I did experiments to where I would go 4 weeks, 6 weeks just to kind of test it. And it varies from person to person, because your conditions inside your workspace, where you are in the country, if it's humid there, if it's dry, so, and how fast that print head can dry out. So where I may go 4 weeks, you may not be able to go 4 weeks without printing and not have issues. But it has issues all the way around. I despise EcoTank printers. Can you explain the importance of a color chart? So a color chart is for when you are filling in the colors yourself. I have color charts printed out on every media that I use. So from my rolling, how these colors show up from my rolling are different. Then they're going to be slightly different because of the type of ink for DTF print. So I've had both of my DTF vendors print out my color charts just so that I can kind of see it. I mean, it's not always like, sometimes I will just kind of look at one because it's still, fairly close. But if I know I'm going to order from someone specifically and I know I need it to be a specific color, I look at this, I look at the color, and I'm like, okay, once it's printed out, I know I want this color. So on this design, whether it is text, if it is like an SVG and I'm changing the colors on it, I'm going to put in the code 8D6E63 to get this particular color. But I have them printed out here. I have it printed out here. I have it on tumblers. I have it printed out on Jet Pro 3G. I have it printed out on felt sheets. I have it on my glitter cardstock. I was trying to see if my folder was over here for my glitter cardstock, but I don't see it. But anything that I do print wise, I have a color chart so that I ensure I'm getting the correct color output. But that only applies to things that I am creating and I have control over printing it. Because even when I use color charts, that's why it's also important to get a color chart printed from, like, if you're going to do an outside vendor, definitely have them print out the color chart, because if their settings are different, like, I don't know if they are using the ink that came with that printer or if they're using a generic third-party ink. And anytime you use a third-party ink, they'll say it's compatible with, but it is not the actual formula for that ink. So you can have issues with the color output. So from theirs, if I know I'm going to order from them and I know like their colors are sometimes off, I'm going to use that color chart to make sure that it's the shade and the tone that I need when it's printed from their printer and the print settings that they use. Nope, you're good. We're just celebrating our 3-year Inkiversary. Thank you, Crystal. All right, y'all. I am going to get up out of here. I need to go pick up some DTF prints from Florida Flex. So I thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you guys for your questions. The website will have that going on probably until tomorrow, because I actually wanted to enjoy the Inkiversary today. I don't know. Normally we kind of have this big celebration and stuff like that, but it's almost like, like your wedding anniversary. I just wanted to enjoy it. And I did a lot of reflecting today, just kind of looking back at things. Looking at pictures in my phone when I was taking a bunch of pictures, I'm getting excited because I know from my post, those are going to come up in my memories in the next couple of days from when we first launched and stuff like that. So I'm getting kind of like excited and giddy about that. I just did a lot of reflecting today, and it was kind of like Mother's Day, my birthday anniversary, where I just kind of want to enjoy that moment. But of course I could not come live. We are going to go out. It's a family affair. So we'll go and get something to eat and celebrate, because everybody plays a part in this business and keeping it running and moving. Y'all know Mr. HS Ink. He is the one that packs your orders meticulously. Like, he takes pride in how he packs that up to make sure that it gets to you without any issues. he really takes pride. Some of you guys have been around for a long time where we had that video or that live and he was tripping on me. I tried to help with like filling stuff up and like doing the chips and stuff. And he got all upset that it was all out of order. Like that man takes that part very seriously. Zani Mani takes his job real seriously. My mom, y'all probably seen like her posting like crazy. So this is definitely a family affair. So we're just going to celebrate together tonight. So yeah, I just want to make sure I came on to celebrate with you guys because without you, there is no us. Without customers, you don't have a business. You don't. So I just thank you, everyone. You are very welcome. See, but you could have got that information if you asked a question. We thank Miss Lane for asking the question. But you guys, when I'm saying these are the things. Like you had questions about that. This is where you ask those questions. All right. And once again, thank you, Miss Sonia. All right, y'all. Miss Parker, thank you. Hello, King. How art thou? We are celebrating our 3-year anniversary since the birth and inception of Honestly SpINKing sublimation products. Well, I'm not saying sublimation products. So we have pigment ink too. So our branded Honestly SpINKing. That's the other thing. It's been 3 years. Okay. It is not SpINKing. It's not SpINKing. What else have I heard? Oh God, you guys say it in some weird ways. I understand it's a play on words, but it honestly speaks for itself. So that's kind of how you can remember. And y'all know that I'm always speaking honestly. So that's the name. It's a play on words to have that ink part stand out, but it is pronounced honestly SpINKing. It honestly speaks for itself. That's how you remember that. Okay. Congratulations to you and your family on all of your accomplishments. The Stitching Studio appreciates y'all. Thank Miss Wood. I'm glad I actually got to see your comment on live. I think you would have been upset if you would have got this notification and missed like the actual live celebration of the 3-year anniversary. So I'm glad you got it in and you got the notifications because you have been rocking with me since like day one. So I'm glad you got on to say happy anniversary. Love you too. And I just realized you dropped the peacock. Okay, wait. Before we go, so if you don't know, wait, can y'all even see that? I don't think y'all can see that. Oh, it's one right here. I think I saw her on here. I'm not sure. But she always calls me Professor Best Friend. And I think it was after year 1. I wanted something that represented the brand. Like I felt like we didn't have like a mascot. And at the time, it was like that was a big thing. And someone suggested that like maybe if I had a mascot because it would help people like identify like with us and kind of create that connection. And I didn't for a while because I'm like, I mean, the drip, like it's the drip, it's ink. Like, why do I have to have that? So then I put the question out there, what symbol? And some people know, like some of you guys know me very well and know that I love elephants. I love me some elephants, but it's like I couldn't make that connection. So like it just wasn't clicking. Well, henceforth, elephants. I used to use elephant images a lot. Like when I was doing demos, I'm obsessed with elephants. That's my all-time next to koalas. Elephants, koalas, and pandas are my favorite. But I put the question out there and Miss Catherine suggested a peacock. But I was like, I mean, I like it, it's like the beautiful colors. So if you ever wonder why I'm always asking about peacocks, I designed it 2 years ago. I didn't release it though. I don't know. It just felt weird. And I finally released it earlier this year. So this is our peacock. So as you can see, it is the drip. See our drip. Wait, there we go. Because it's a little backwards. So our drip. And so our peacock is that drip to make the feathers. So she gave me the idea for peacock, but I couldn't wrap my head around it. And then I realized God had this set up all along. That drip upside down looks like peacock feathers. Like, and then she knows for me, she is a godsend for me. So I think God gave her that message to give to me that it should be a peacock. So that's why, if you ever hear me, you always wondering, like, why is she always asking about where my peacock's at? This is why. This is technically the official symbol of Honestly SpINKing. I will actually put it in rotation more. But yes. Y'all know what I just realized? Because I was about to say, yes, this is Mr. P. My last name begins with P. I mean, my maiden name is Lavelle, but my last name is Pericles. Like, that's my husband's name, my kids. So it's like, it's P. I have this design. Dang it, I don't think that mug is here. Let me go see if it's in the other room. Hold on. I just realized the connection to my family. And even took his keys, so I don't have it. I don't know. I got to remember to bring that mug back here. But I actually created this thing, and some of you guys probably saw the mug. It has me, the boys, and Even on it. And so it says, I'm looking to see if it's in here. So it says, an evenly odd family, because my husband's name is Even. The boy's middle name is like Even. So I'm the only one that's not even. So it's like even and odd. So I made this whole thing that said, we're the evenly odd family, because I'm the one that's like out. But then now, if I called him Mr. P for Peacock, my last name is P. So see, look, thank you, Miss Catherine. I brought it all back. You might know that I literally just had that aha moment. Look at this from our first year, guys. I went in the other room. I'm like, oh my God, I'm now like doing this. So this is pretty cool. Yes, Peacock Pride. Tap the screen, guys, and pop the bottles. I don't even drink, but I will drink a virtual bottle of bubbly. He does have a way of making everything come together. Every Inkiversary, I've had a different revelation. Like, literally every Inkiversary, it's always been something new, and there's been a new revelation. And this year was the connection. And I think it's the first time I got called him, like, Mr. P. I never gave him a name. But because peacocks are actually male. They're male. So it's Mr. P, even though, but it's Mr. P because peacocks are male. Wow. God is amazing. Yeah, see? Color that honestly speaks for itself. We got to remember that. That's how we know how to say this. Thank you. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here because they close at 6. And I got to get to Florida Flex to get my DTF prints so that I can do that tomorrow. So we'll do that one tomorrow, and then be on the lookout. Like I said, I'm doing this for the very first time. I am going to schedule, and it will be every week, 2 days a week at a dedicated, like a specific time. That way you guys know what time to chime in, and we are going to learn the Caesar Romeo. You're going to see me go through the process of learning it, and we're going to learn it together. It is not to say that you have to go out and get one, but I do want you to see the process of when you have a new machine, like things that you should go to, like how you should gradually build to, where you're monetizing that machine. All right. So until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity. Be incredible. Don't forget to visit the websites you can see going across the bottom in honor of our Inkiversary, and to say thank you to you guys. All of our Honestly SpINKing products, the ink and the paper, whether it's pigment ink, summation ink, or the paper, except for the pre-order rolls, they are available to you automatic at checkout, 20% off. You still have the buy one, get one 50% off, and you can combine, like there is the one where you'll just pay regular price for the product, but you'll get a class 60% off. So that promotion is also still going on right now. And once again, I thank you guys so very much. Peace.